Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, back here on WagerTalk TV with your college basketball top 25 video for this Saturday, March the 2nd. That's right, March is here. Let the madness begin. Still got a couple of weeks of regular season action to go. This is the last Saturday for a lot of the mid-major teams. They'll have their conference tournament starting next week. And of course, the big boys, the power conferences, have another Saturday. So I will be back next week once again with your top 25 video. But boy, is it fitting as we're hitting the near the end of the conference season that we have 5 head-to-head top 25 matchups for this Saturday, March the 2nd. And as always, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and give you 2 bonus games as well. They were just a bit outside for making the cut. Hey, baseball right around the corner. Got to get the just a bit outside reference in and getting warmed up with that one. Hey, seriously, 7 games here on this video. It's a deep dive into college basketball for this Saturday, March the 2nd. Going to give you all my additional info for free here on these matchups in just a moment. Quick reminder that if you want my official best bets for this Saturday college basketball, check out my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. I also post a free bonus play every day on the page, either a college or pro basketball play for free as additional to those best bets. And this is a great weekend to get on board because the March Madness special is here. Get the rest of the college basketball season for less than $4 a day. Here's how it works. It gets you all the way through April 8th for just $149. It's normally $255. You get an instant $106 discount this weekend with that March Madness special. And don't delay. Every day you get on board is more you save, and you get the rest of the college basketball season whenever you want to start. It's locked in right now. No promo code needed. Less than $4 a day for everything through the championship game on April 8th, including my huge lineup this Saturday. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. All right, let's go down in start time order. I'm going to knock out these 5 head-to-head top 25 matchups for you and also look at 2 bonus games on the way out. Let's start early at 12 noon Eastern on ESPN. Battle in the SEC. Number 24, Florida at number 18, South Carolina. And a lot of good power rating metrics out there. The Ken Palm is one that's very important and very widely used, obviously. And I want to point out in this one that South Carolina is nowhere near the top 25. In fact, they're only 46th in the Ken Palm rankings. So on the surface here, it's a little surprising to see this as a top 25 game. Florida only 28. So these are really 2 teams that maybe are not top 25 worthy. By the way, I'm doing this video a little bit earlier because I wanted to get it up on Friday evening. So I'm recording this right after 6 Eastern on Friday. We can call this also the opening line report to steal from my friend Teddy Covers. DraftKings had advanced lines on these top 25 games early afternoon around 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern. And then one of the leading indicator offshore books, BetOnline, came out right at 6 Eastern. So as I'm doing this video, those are the only 2 sets of numbers I have, but they do vary a bit. For example, South Carolina is -2 at both books, but DraftKings has a total 147. Offshore, it's 145. So we'll see where this settles late Friday night into Saturday morning when many of you are watching this video. But once again, South Carolina is an opener, a 2-point favorite. Despite being the lower-ranked team of the Ken Palms, they're the higher-ranked team of the AP. And I do like South Carolina based on pace of play in this game. They haven't played yet this season, and I think that's going to be a problem for Florida because Florida likes to play fast. In fact, they're the 30th fastest team in the country out of 362 Division I teams. South Carolina, 354th slowest team. Huge contrast in style. I think home teams normally dictate tempo better, and that's going to favor South Carolina at home -2. All right, let's look at the next game here on the schedule. Goes at 1 o'clock Eastern in the Big 12. Number 7, Kansas at number 15, Baylor. And once again, looking at the early line, both offshore and DraftKings have Baylor -4.5. Once again, a difference in the total, though. 146.5 was the afternoon total. The offshore opened 145, so we'll see where it settles. Exact same price range on this total as the last game we talked about, in about a 2-point difference. But once again, Baylor looking at about a 4.5-point home favorite in this game. And this is a rematch from the game Kansas. We talked about it here on the video. The Jayhawks pulled out a 3-point win, 64-61, staying well under the total of 149.5, but failing to cover as a 5.5-point home favorite. They had a 6-point lead at the half, only won by 3. Did not shoot well at all from 3-point range. They were just 5 for 21. In fact, they were -9 points from beyond the arc, and they still won by 3. So that's not a good sign for Baylor here in the rematch. But the Bears had 21 turnovers on the road and forced only 8. I expect that to be cleaner at home. And Baylor got to the free throw line on the road 6 times more than Kansas, which also could be a good indicator for Baylor. So once again, strong home court with revenge. I don't like to fade those type of teams. It does concern me that Kansas won without shooting the 3 well. But otherwise, Baylor with revenge at home looks like the play, currently -4.5 on the 2 opening lines. All right, next game, the third game on the daytime card for Saturday afternoon goes at 2:30 Eastern on Fox National TV. Number 5, Marquette against number 12, Creighton. Marquette's a team that was ranked in the top 4 just a few weeks ago. They got blown out, of course, exposed, if you will, by UConn 81-53 2 Saturdays ago. And I mentioned that game here in the video. I told you I didn't think Marquette was a true top 4 team. Well, they're 5th in the rankings here. They're holding on. They have bounced back, going 3-0 straight up and against the spread since that Connecticut blowout loss. Keep in mind, they were 5-0 straight up in ATS the 5 games before. So if you throw out the UConn game, they're a perfect 8-0 straight up in ATS in their other 8 games during the last 9. But of course, we can't throw out that UConn game because that was their toughest opponent, and they got blown out of the gym, shot only 36.5% from the field. Now they're taking on a very good Creighton team on the road. Creighton is 13-2 straight up at home this season. These teams did play earlier this year, back on December 30th. Marquette won that game by 5 as a 4-point home favorite. Creighton actually led the game by 2 at halftime. Marquette, though, did not shoot well from the field, just 36.5% and only 29% from 3, and they still won the game. Once again, just like Baylor, Creighton had 18 turnovers on the road. They only got to the free throw line 6 times. I expect both of those numbers to be better at home. Home teams don't turn the ball over as much, and they usually get more free throws. Now, Creighton on the season does not do a good job of getting to the line. They only get there 15 times on average. Most teams get there about 18 or 19 times. But when they do, they shoot 77% from the charity stripe. So that also will help them pull away in this game and cover the short number. As we look at the early openers right now, DraftKings had 4.5. The offshore has 3.5, and it briefly opened in that one around the 4-point range, I believe. So it is starting to drop a bit here on Friday evening. We'll see where it settles. I saw it open 3.5, went as high as 5 offshore, back down to 3.5. Once again, shows how raw these opening early lines are. And that's why I usually wait to do this video a little bit later into Saturday morning. But with so many big games, I wanted to get it out Friday night. So we're looking at about 3.5 to 4.5 point spread. I like Creighton in this spot at home with revenge on the strong home court. And we'll also look at the tempo and pace of play in this game. Marquette prefers a much faster pace. Creighton more of a slow-down half-court team. So we get pace, strong home court, and revenge. Take a look at Creighton minus the 4 points or so here on Saturday afternoon. All right, those are 3 daytime plays for you. I have 2 top 25 nighttime games and also 2 bonus games on the way out here. So 4 more games coming up. Just a quick reminder, do us a few favors here. If you're loving this free content on WagerTalk TV, there's a couple things you can do to help out. First of all, well, 3 things, actually. First of all, make sure you subscribe. I'm sure all of you have by now. We have over 140,000 subscribers. I know many of you are regular and loyal viewers. But if you haven't subscribed, click subscribe, please. And don't forget, hit that bell as well for instant alerts when these free play videos go up each and every day throughout the week for college and pro basketball. And my top 25 video. Also, I'll have a Fade the Public March Madness edition when the tournament begins. But 2 other big favors. First of all, hit the thumbs up, the like. It goes a great way to keeping this content free. And comment below. We really appreciate the comments. First of all, I love the comments. As you know, I read all of them and I reply back. And I really think we can learn and earn and win together. So who do you like this weekend in college basketball on Saturday? Hey, throw in some top 25 picks where you agree or disagree with my analysis here. But more importantly, throw in some under the radar. I'm talking about the big boys here. For those mid-majors, cash just as nice, especially with the final home games coming up for many of them this Saturday and this Sunday as well. So comment below. I read all the comments. I reply back. Thumbs up, like, and subscribe. It goes a great way to helping keep this content free here on WagerTalk TV. All right, let's look at 2 more plays in the top 25. We're going to look at the nighttime action here at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Number 4, Tennessee at number 14, Alabama. And this should be a good one. Alabama, a fun team to watch. You know, head coach Oates came over from Buffalo where he made that nice run in the NCAA tournament. And he has taken a fast, high-scoring approach, and there's no 2 ways about it. They're the number 1 rated efficiency offense in the country out of 362 teams, but they're barely 100th. In fact, they're exactly 100th on defense. I went back and looked the last 8 years or so, the last 8 national champs, actually, to be exact, in the final KenPom rankings. Once again, there are a lot of different efficiency rankings, but KenPoms are widely used and they're easy to look up. The national champ the last 8 years has had a better offensive ranking than defensive ranking when the season ends. So it's going to be very difficult for some teams to overcome weak offenses. Alabama doesn't have that problem. They're number 1, and their defense is 100th. So they're going to be better offensively than defensively, no matter what point you look this season. The problem, though, is that all those other teams, I believe, were pretty much top 25, both offense and defense. So, yes, they're a great offensive team, but that defense makes it tough in high-quality games. And we saw that last Saturday. I talked about the game here on the video, and I ended up using Kentucky as a strong best bet for my personal clients last Saturday in college basketball. Alabama came up short. They scored 95, but they gave up 117 points, gave up 63% shooting on the road. Whew. I wonder how many national champs have given up 63% in any game during that season. So once again, this Bama defense is a concern. The over just continues to cash. 7 straight overs now for Alabama, including 191 points in that bounce-back win against Ole Miss this past week. And that was a solid win at home. They now play their second-to-last home game against Tennessee. They will be at home against Arkansas next week. Tennessee, meanwhile, took care of Kentucky a few weeks ago. We talked about that here on February 3rd on that Saturday video. 103-92. In fact, Tennessee never trailed at Kentucky, so that common opponent metric would obviously favor the Volunteers, but keep in mind, Kentucky's looked a lot stronger since that loss over the last few weeks. But still, just less than a month ago, Tennessee looked a lot better at Kentucky, so I thought that common opponent was something that was interesting to point out. These teams did play also earlier this season on January 20th in Tennessee. Volunteers won easily by 20 points, led by 13 at the half. Alabama just 4 for 21 from three-point range with 22 turnovers. And you say, well, they should play better at home, and I agree they should do better shooting and turnover-wise. The problem is it's a tough matchup for them. Tennessee, the 4th most efficient defense in the country, and they're 18th on offense, still a very good offensive team. But they like to play fast also. You think of that great Tennessee defense, but Tennessee is 65th in tempo this year, Alabama 11th. Once again, I mentioned the 7 straight overs by Bama. Well, not to talk about the side here. Let's talk about the total. I think the over is the only way to play it. I know it might seem simple. It might seem too easy. But until we see otherwise, Bama overs are really the way to go. Let's check the early market. And obviously, totals move quite a bit more so than sides. So these are early numbers on Friday night. I don't even see an offshore number yet. But DraftKings does have this 2.5 Alabama, 168.5 for the over-under. And once again, for Bama games recently, that's probably not high enough. All right, going to look at one more game, your late West Coast game here on ESPN National TV. Just a quick reminder, if you want my official best bets for this Saturday in college basketball, Saturdays have been fantastic all season long in college hoops, and it's not a surprise because we have more games on Saturday than any other day of the week, so it's a great board to choose from. As you know, I am extra selective. I average maybe 1 to 3 plays a day. On college basketball Saturdays, maybe 4 or 5 games, so it is a deep card. But more importantly, you're getting my number 1 ranked best bets, and I do mean number 1. In fact, in the history of WagerTalk.com, no handicapper has won more units on college and pro basketball sides combined than I have. Entering the weekend up over 180 units. We're number 1 once again this year in the 2023-24 season. Number 1 in all sports sides for every sport, football, baseball, and basketball the last 2.5 years combined. So not a bad time to try an all access. I gave you the March Madness special earlier. Works up to $4 a day. That's the rest of college basketball. It's a great deal. Obviously, everyone watching this video loves college hoops. But if you like other sports as well, if you want my college and pro basketball, there's a 30-day all-access promo code, which works out to about $7 a day. And the big boy deal with baseball around the corner, football next fall, get a full year of all sports, football, baseball, and basketball for just over $3 a day. That works out to just about $1 a play for the next 365 days a night of my number 1 ranked best bet service. Hey, if you want to start off small, just get the Saturday best bets. Consider the March Madness special, the 1 month or the 1 year. No matter which option you choose, every client gets the exact same plays every day, the exact same plays I am personally using. And the game that just missed the cut, the last cut every day, I post for free. So check out those daily free plays, including Saturday's free play right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. All right, let's look at this 5th head-to-head top 25 matchup, and then 2 bonus games for you on the way out here in a moment. Late night, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Now, I mentioned how all the big boys have another week to go in basketball regular season games, but the West Coast starts their conference tournament a little early. So this is the last regular season game. So we get a unique handicapping spot, which I'll talk more about next week in the video. And that's the last home game for strong home court teams. And that is St. Mary's in this one, 14-3 at home, 24-6 overall. Last home game for this. Now, I know not many seniors make it in the Power 5 schools anymore, but some of these smaller mid-majors, and I'll call St. Mary's still a mid-major, they do have more of a veteran lineup, more of a senior-laden lineup. So last home games do mean something. Unfortunately, though, we do not have the revenge motive here, and that's because St. Mary's pulled the upset at Gonzaga a month ago on February 3rd as a 4.5-point dog. They lost that game They won that game rather 64-62, overcame a 1-point halftime deficit. As is often the case, 3-point shooting was the difference. The Gales are plus 12 from three-point range, 39% to just 21%. Gonzaga, though, was at home, did not shoot the ball well at all. And St. Mary's a really good defensive team, as they always are, and a very slow team. 356th slowest team in the country, 13th ranked defense. If you look at the Ken Palms, they're 20th overall in net rating. And Gonzaga this year has moved up finally to 17. They were outside that top 20 in the Ken Palms for a while. Now they're 17th in the net rating, 10th offense, 53rd in defense, 69th fastest tempo. So once again, two different types of styles. And it obviously worked for St. Mary's in the first game. Last home game, strong home court, slow down team. Once again, I would lean towards St. Mary's, even though they don't have the revenge motive, as it's just a matchup that's tough for Gonzaga. Now, Gonzaga in recent years has taken care of business against St. Mary's. But as I mentioned a few weeks ago when I did that February 3rd game here on the video, the Zags team's not quite as strong as recent additions, and I think that showed with that outright home loss. So I'm not sure revenge is going to matter here. We'll check the early opening number at DraftKings. They're the only one that has one posted on Friday evening here. St. Mary's 2.5, 139.5. We'll see where that moves into Saturday morning. But I would lean St. Mary's here on the strong home court, and they just match up well with that slow half-court style. Gonzaga just not quite as talented this year, and they might struggle once again in a slow-down game. By the way, St. Mary's in the under probably correlated, Gonzaga in the over probably correlated if you're looking at a two-team parlay. And that was obviously the case with that first meeting last month, in which it landed 126, stayed easily under the 139. All right, those are your top five, your five official head-to-head top 25 matchups. As always, I want to give you as much information on this video as possible. So two additional games that were just a bit outside for making the cut. Teams that are just on the outside looking in. Number 13, Illinois at number 31, Wisconsin. And I say 31 because I'm looking at the additional votes. And Wisconsin is about the, what would that be? About the 6th or 7th team down the list there. So they're 31st overall. And this is a Wisconsin team that, by the way, was as high as 11th in week 11. We're in week 17 now. So just a month and a half ago, they were the 11th ranked team in the country. Now they're 31st. But I still think they're a dangerous team. And the odds makers agree. Early line has Wisconsin as a 2.5-point home favorite. And as you guys know, those who watch the videos every week and watch the college basketball shows, unranked home favorites against ranked opponents have done quite well for several seasons now. It's a little bit of a fade the public contrarian call, which I love. And I like Wisconsin in this game. By the way, it's on Big Ten Network at 1 o'clock Eastern. Also, got to like the pace of play edge here for Wisconsin. You've got Illinois coming off an extremely high-scoring game. Illini cannot play much better than they did the other night, putting up 105 points against Minnesota. But they gave up 97 and gave up 60% shooting. Now they face a slower Wisconsin team who, by the way, is just 2-6 straight up, 0-8 against the spread. Another reason why this will be a huge contrarian call on Saturday afternoon. And one of the other game on the way out that just missed the cut at 9 o'clock Eastern is number 28 TCU against number 26 BYU. And BYU just pulled a monster upset against Kansas. And BYU is a team that was as high as 4th in the Ken Palms, as high as 4th in the Ken Palm rankings a few months ago. Boy, have they fallen here in recent weeks, but they got back on track with an outright 8-point dog win at Kansas. So no question, if they win this game at home against TCU, they will be ranked next week when the new rankings come out, as they're currently 26, just on the outside looking in. But if TCU pulls the upset, they got a chance of jumping in as well. And by the way, on Friday evening, no line even at DraftKings for this one. So we'll have to wait to see where it comes out. Obviously, BYU, I would expect to be the home favorite in this one. Still 15th in the Ken Palm rankings. TCU only 30th. Just looking at the raw numbers there, BYU probably be about a 7-point favorite or so, but we'll have to see where that line comes out. BYU, really good offensive team, top 10 efficiency. The problem at time has been the defense. TCU is the better defensive team, and these teams have not met this season, have not met even in recent years, because BYU, of course, is a new addition to the Big 12 here. TCU enters this game, by the way, losing 2 of their last 3. As I said, BYU just upset Kansas on the road. So we'll see how this one plays out. Hey, comment below. Let me know if you have any thoughts in this game and also the other games I talked about. Once again, 7 games broken down for you for free here. So comment below. Where do you agree or disagree on these top 25 matchups? What are your top plays for this Saturday, March the 2nd? And throw in some of those mid-major, under-the-radar games as well. I love those small college plays. Let's win and learn and earn together here on WagerTalk TV. Throw in some analysis as well. That's always appreciated. Thumbs up, like goes a long way keeping this great content free, along with commenting below. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, hit subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already done so you never miss any of these videos. They'll be up each and every Friday night. The top 25 video again next week. Monday through Friday, I do free play videos, also some Saturdays as well. So never miss the free play videos by hitting subscribe and clicking that bell. And don't forget on the way out, if you'd like my official best bets for this Saturday college basketball, I've got a strong and deep card planned for this Saturday. Go get them right now on my page, SteveMerril, WagerTalk.com. Get the 1 day, get a 1 week, a 1 month, or a 1 year. And if you're going to do the 1 month or the 1 year, I've got special promo codes right now for all access specials, which saves you 75 off a 30 day, saves you up to 800 off of 1 year. Or if you want just college hoops, if you're isolating on college basketball, don't forget about that March Madness special the rest of the college season for less than $4 a day. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and check out the daily free play as well. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. Follow me on Twitter and X at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Twitter and X at Steve Merril. And also post free plays throughout the week on Instagram. Follow me on IG. Stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV for some more great free content coming up next. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game Saturday, and I'll talk to you again soon.